Good evening, everybody. Thank you. Welcome for joining in to tonight's edition of the Business of Black Beauty. I am your host, Stefanetta Isis Harmon, and I am so glad to continue introducing you to Black women and men who are creating their own seats and whole tables in the beauty industry. And tonight we are going back to our roots, literally and figuratively, with Olu Gittens, who is the creator of a new show highlighting the Black hair experience in America. Now, Olu is a Brooklyn native and a filmmaker whose career behind the scenes includes work as a technical director for a television station in Los Angeles. And now she's not only helping to produce shows, but helping to shape what we see and talk about in front of the camera. So I just want to say good evening and welcome. How are you, Olu?
I'm wonderful. I'm so glad to be here. Stefanetta
Ah,
Isis Harmon.
oh my goodness, this is amazing. I just want to say this, first of all, just yes. Thank you for tuning in. Again, I know I do like those little intro things, but like Olu is an amazing filmmaker and a tech person who actually hit me up last year to be part of a
Yeah.
new series that she's doing. And it dropped last month.
Yeah.
And it's so much bigger and better. Anything that we knew, folks were just invited to be in a small part. Now we see this whole picture. So can you tell us a
Yes.
little bit about yourself and this new venture?
Yes. So my background is in film and video production. I got my master's in fine arts in communication from Boston University College of Communication. And I have a background in narrative filmmaking, but also in television production. I did a lot of TV production at Manhattan Neighborhood Network. I've worked on some syndicated shows. I've worked in local television here in Los Angeles at KSCI TV. And so yeah, the show was an idea that I had. I was thinking about how much I enjoy the format of a talk show, particularly a half an hour talk show where you can focus on one topic. And I just was kind of allowing myself to just dream and think about all the things that are important to me. And I said to myself, if I did a talk show, what would it be about? What kind of show would it be? And I just was brainstorming with myself about different ideas. And it just occurred to me that my passion for hair and how it's a way of telling Black women's stories, that was the thing that I would do a talk show about. So, I was just brainstorming for months and months, thinking about how I would go about this, what I would do, what the topics would be. And I said, if I were to do a show that I would want to watch, what would
Yeah.
it be about? What kind of topics would I cover? What kind of things would we talk about? And this was it. This was it. And by the way, you were on my dream list of pundits that I wanted to have. So it's amazing that you were on the show and now I'm talking to you on your platform.
That's crazy. Like, honestly, I was just like,
Yeah.
wait, somebody wants to talk to me about hair.
Yes,
Like, I know I've been writing about hair for years, right? But you don't
for
think about
years.
it from the other
Exactly.
side. So when you hit me up and it's like, all right,
Yes.
well, you just want me to talk about braids, I got you. I could talk about hair all day long.
Yes.
Um, so and we can get even to like my part of this, but I would love to talk more about just so when you said like this is the show that like the thing that you wanted to see on TV, what made hair be
Yes.
the thing you wanted to see on television?
Well, I just feel like it's such a through line for so many things that we talk about in the Black community, whether it's our cultural identity, it's what makes us unique, what the discrimination from other groups and within our group, beauty, self-esteem, image, grooming, hair care. I mean, well, hair care is the whole umbrella, but beauty and self-care
Okay.
and just so many things that have to do with lifestyle, family, a lot of different things that hair is an interesting through line for. And so it's an interesting way to talk about lots of different stuff. And then I also like the topic itself.
How did you know that there would be an audience for it? Like, what was the thing that said this can go from a kitchen conversation to an actual primetime conversation?
It was kind of a no-brainer for me. I was like, if I'm wanting this, if I'm longing for this, somebody else wants this. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I just had an intuitive feeling that this is something that people would want. And there were those moments where I was like, do they really want to watch this? But then I just kept plugging through because I would talk to people and I would kind of do my own little focus groups, and I just knew that people, you go to an event and, you meet other Black women and you may be the only Black women at the event, but you all might kind of be hanging out maybe afterwards. And the topic just turns to hair. And even you said, whenever two or three of us are gathered, we're going to talk about hair. And so
Yeah, it's
I
it's
have to
it's
quote you
packed.
all the time for that.
Yeah, that's my thing. I tell people, I'm like, I know it's sacrilegious. I'm a praying woman, but where two or more women are gathered, we are going to talk hair. But now that there's a
Yeah.
larger platform for this is amazing. Um,
Yes.
so talk about, I mean, I want to say like I want you to talk more about it, but I also have your trailer, right? And I'm
Oh,
wondering,
yes,
is it
please.
okay? Like, let me drop this trailer, you guys, for
Yes.
listening right now, just to see. Come back here because I'm doing everything on this. But this is
You're
really
multitasking.
essential.
You're good, though. You're great.
Thank you. So you can get a sense of what the show is about, guys. So let's play this real quick, and then we'll get back into conversation.
Introducing the exciting new talk and lifestyle television show
Let's Talk Hair.
dedicated to hair from an African American perspective. Relaxed hair, natural hair, products and techniques, the latest trends, beauty, celebrities, personal journeys, and enterprise. Let's talk hair. Check your local listings for broadcast times and follow us on social media.
Yes. So let's get into that. So we saw a whole bunch of things happening in that trailer. We saw, first of all, your
Yes.
hosts, Robin and Dell, are just hilarious.
Yes.
Yes, great
My hosts
personality.
are amazing. They're
And then,
just so amazing. They bring so much to the table in terms of their passion for the subject,
mm,
and their knowledge about the subject. They've both tried tons of different things with their hair. They're both passionate about hair care. They've both had mishaps. They've both had experiences. And the thing I also like about them is that they're coming to it as informed consumers
mm.
rather than as experts themselves. And that's really what I wanted. I really wanted hosts that could be sort of a stand-in for the audience. And then we invite the experts on to ask your opinions about different things. So that was really important to me that we have hosts that are open-minded and they're informed consumers.
Okay, yes, no, that's what's up. So
Yeah.
that was great with and then I mean, there's people like me who came on as pundits, right? But you also had some big
Yes,
names on there. We saw Kim Kimble, who's
yes,
a celeb hairstylist.
yes,
Lemonade braids for folks who don't know who Kim Kimble is. Lemonade
yeah,
braids, okay? She's one of the two main people behind Beyonce's main looks. And
yeah,
then Selena Johnson, amazing
yes,
singer, and also
yes.
had a talk show, and she's on a couple other shows. And you just
And she's a Grammy nominated singer songwriter. I mean, she's just
yeah,
an amazingly talented woman. We had Yamanika Saunders, the comedian. We have Queen of Comedy, Lunel, and just having these different, just very high profile women, celebrities to support the show at such an early phase of the show was just such a blessing. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to take a chance on us like that, but they did. And I just really, really appreciate them for that.
okay. What do you what do you hope to get out of this show? Like everything that's happening in the show in terms of, because we talk hair, we talk braids, we talk politics,
Mhm.
as you said earlier, so many different
Yeah.
conversations. What do you hope that women who are watching this walk away with?
Oh, well, I hope they want to watch it every week. That's one thing. I want them to walk away wanting to watch another episode. And I want them to feel like they're getting information out of the show and a chance to connect. I want them to have their beauty needs addressed, because that's something that Black women, we definitely need to have our beauty needs addressed. I think a lot of times we are sometimes criticized for supporting businesses that aren't necessarily Black owned that meet our beauty needs. Sometimes we're criticized for wearing hair enhancements or modeling an aesthetic that's not necessarily a Black aesthetic, but we've made it our own. We've been criticized for a lot of things, and yet I don't feel our beauty needs are entirely being met. A lot of times we have to mix products together. We have to go here and there. We have to go to stores where the products are locked up behind a glass case. We have to really put together a patchwork quilt in order to meet our beauty needs. And we really shouldn't have to do that. And I'm really hoping that our show will help to be a place where we can have like some centralized place where our beauty needs are being met, just like with Sadaya Black Business Guide.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So how many episodes have you created so far of this?
We've gotten 6 done so far, our pilot plus another 5 for broadcast. Yes. And we actually were planning on doing way more in this whole chunk of episodes, but because of the COVID restrictions, we had to limit the number of episodes we could do right away. But we're hoping to use these next several weeks as a rollout of the show on different stations on the Fox Soul platform, getting the word out about the show so that we can establish the show for a long-term regular series.
Okay. So six episodes. Were they all dropped at once? Are you still releasing them weekly? How is that?
They're being released weekly. Although you can see the pilot on Amazon Prime Video, and it's kind of fun to see how a show develops. So if anyone's curious about watching our pilot on Amazon Prime Video, they can sort of compare it to the current episodes and say, oh, this is how the set changed, or this is how some things might be a little different. And it's kind of fun to see that. I think it's also good for people who are interested in being content creators themselves to see that there's a process to things developing. And I think, I would like to invite people to watch the pilot and just kind of compare and kind of enjoy the progress, the show, and the ways in which the show has developed. We had a really great team for the pilot, and then we just had, as we developed the show, we partnered with Butcher Bird Studios in Los Angeles, and they are just amazing production partners in the show's development. And so they've been amazing in helping the show get to the next level.
And let's talk about this. So you started on Amazon Prime. Then you were like, I have this vision. It's going to be bigger. And now you on Fox Soul that's actually airing on regular television in addition to their app and everything. What was that process like? Congratulations on that. That was big.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's a process. I mean, that's just a process in terms of the syndication business, the distribution business. It's a real, it's a real process. And I think a lot of it had to do with the show itself and the production values we were in a position to give to the show. That would make it an asset to a broadcast outlet or to Fox Soul or things like that. I think a lot of it was the production value that we were able to put in, and the depth of development and the research and the guests and things like that made it something that a bigger platform would be able to say yes to.
Did it impact how, like, your final editing or process or anything like that to be on those shows? Or you already fully packaged and ready to go?
We were packaged and ready to go. And the team that is our production partners, they are also our post-production partners.
Oh, okay.
So that we were able to get all the elements in place so that we have a smooth post-production experience.
Okay, okay. Well, this is
Yeah.
awesome. I know we're talking a little bit this. So, guys, whoever's tuning in right now, first of all, hey, thank you
Hey,
for tuning
should I
in.
be in the looking at the chat too? Oh my gosh, I see the chat now.
Yes, you can see
I think I
just like
do.
I can see the chat in here. Yeah, so thank you for tuning in. We're speaking with Olu Gittens. She's a filmmaker and she's creator, producer of a new show called Let's Talk Hair. Full disclosure, I'm on one of the episodes. Hey, look, mom on TV, like TV. Thank you. But it's a show that's really highlighting and celebrating the Black hair experience, y'all. It goes from a table talk conversation to like table talk about hair to actual primetime conversations with celebrities, hair
Yeah,
experts, comedians, and just our experience. And I think this is so valuable when we're talking about this business of Black beauty, where Black
yeah,
women, we control a market. We Yes, we control the market. The spending and everything like that. To actually have a show that connects back to us, where we can see ourselves on
yeah,
television in a different way. So it's super awesome.
yeah.
Um, yes, we are having some questions in here, and yes, the trailer, unfortunately, but fortunately, has been run. You can tune in, but you can also see it on YouTube and on Let's Talk Hair TV. Excuse me, Let's Talk Hair.tv, and I will drop
Mhm.
that in the comments in a little bit as well, that you can to catch the full trailer. But it's an amazing show that features. Like, tell why am I talking about your show, Olu? Tell us about your
Oh,
show.
we
I'm
have
excited.
interviews, we have product demos, technique demos, which I think we'll be doing a lot more of post COVID.
Hmm.
And we have discussions about how our hair is something a part of our lives. You can hear Lunel talk about what made her do the big chop and what made her take on blonde as her signature hair color. I mean, she's just amazing, and just talking about how her hair is an accessory and how she experiments with color. Also, I wanted to open up the conversation to different hair choices. That was
Hmm.
one of the most important things for me as the producer of this show, because whether you wear your hair natural or straight, I think we've passed that conversation. But whether you wear your hair super short, whether you decide to wear it long, you know, all those different things, those choices we make, whether you decide to wear your natural hair in a job interview,
Hmm.
um, or do you wait until you get the dream job and then switch it up? And then also why that would even be necessary, because the Crown Act is actually something that is working to prevent hair discrimination, but the fact is it does still exist. And a lot of times when we talk about the choices that we make as Black women with our hair discrimination is a big part of it. So yeah, I just want us to talk about all kinds of things. And we also do talk about men's hair. We have an episode with comedian Willie Mack. He talks about, what it's like with somebody with a big fluffy fro, a very approachable guy. What is it like when someone just kind of like rolls up and, touches his hair? How does he feel about that? How does he feel about,
Mm.
things like that? And moving forward, I want to talk to men more about their hair choices and even their hair preferences. And I think that and as women, we can talk about our preferences for men. Do we like a bald guy? Do we like a guy with a fro? It's we
Right.
have the we have the right to have our own preferences too.
So
So
6 episodes so far, right? What is
yes.
what was the most enlightening thing that happened during the filming? Like you were like, oh my God, I did not know this. What was the most eye-opening?
Oh,
Yeah.
about I think the COVID definitely opened our eyes to the capabilities of our team
Mm.
and the ability to still move forward with the production within COVID precautions.
Hmm.
That was a big thing. And also, another eye opener was just, I think, the level of support the project has gotten,
Hmm.
because we've had people like James DeBose from Fox Soul. He's the executive in charge of that whole platform. His support in the process was extremely helpful. We've had television stations that have taken a chance on the show, in terms of the syndication of the show. So we've had a lot of support. We talk a lot, I think a lot of content creators, we talk a lot about the gatekeepers and who's keeping people out and who's letting them in. But there are a lot of people in different positions throughout this industry who want to see people win. They want to see people win who've been preparing and who've been working at this for a long time. Different topics, different subject matter, different types of storytelling. And there are gatekeepers who are actually for whoever you are. If you have a content out there, there are gatekeepers out there who are actually for you and who want you to win. You just got to be persistent and you got to be prepared. So I do want people to know that.
That's what's up. Like, that's great to know. But, and then at the same time, while there are those gatekeepers, you're creating a new table. Like, you're opening up the doors for more people to walk in behind you with this series. Let's be honest about that. There are people getting it, like,
right.
I got on there. You had another Black woman, Lasharette Wilkerson, who I was on the show with, who Black owned braiding brand. Hair braiding brand, that's huge.
Lux by Lash, her own line, her own salon and her own line. It's just amazing.
Studio Lux by Lash. So those are things that we were seeing that you were giving. You're not just saying, hey, I got in the door. You're opening the door with the celebrities, but also, like, you've got those, but bringing in people who may not be as well known to join in that conversation. And they're all Black women and Black men, right?
Yes. And I was like, we need to have a show with pundits. The sports people, they have their shows with pundits. Yes. We need to have a show with pundits and demos and stuff, And,
I'm watching the comments and there's one right now about, a series that doesn't just highlight the trauma around Black hair, but all of the other pieces of it. And that there's a joy in those conversations,
Exactly.
Super awesome.
I'm gonna try to see if I can read the chat. I can't read the chat and see your face at the same time, but I'm just gonna quickly look at the chat.
She's so upset.
Real quick. I'm so glad for the supportive comments. Thank you, guys.
This is awesome. Like, no, honestly. So you all, if you have not seen this yet, it's Let's Talk Hair. It's a new series. Let's Talk Hair.tv. I dropped the link. It's on Fox Soul. Where else can we watch it? I saw that you dropped some television stations.
Yes, it's on select stations around the country. That link is on our website, letstalkhair.tv, and the list of stations is growing. So even if you can access it on Fox Soul, we definitely ask that you watch it in your local market too, to just show that support. Let the station know that you like them having the show, that you appreciate them showing it, and that will encourage them to be our station when we have a long-term show. So definitely support it in your local market too.
Awesome. Thank you so much on this. So what's next? So it's a 5-week run, right?
Right.
What happens next?
It's a 5-week run. And, a lot of talk shows do start that way. They'll do a 5-week run. They'll build those relationships with the local TV stations and with the different platforms, digital platforms, and you just build their audience that way. And seeing how that goes, and I feel it going really well so far. As we build, it's not a set 5 weeks. It might be 5 weeks. April to May on this station, May to June on this station, June to July on this station. Feels like a rotating 5 weeks. So as we build, a lot of it is just building the base of supporters, building the audience. As we build that, then that means we can have, a long-term show. We can get bigger sponsors, we can get bigger advertisers and things like that. So that just helps us to build the brand. So if you like the show, definitely, tweet it out, tell your local stations you like it, give them a thumbs up, tweet them for showing it and things like that, just to show them that you're glad that they're doing it.
Okay. So this is going to go from 6 episodes to hopefully an ongoing show.
I'm hoping we have, 50 a year, weekly show.
Yes, that would be amazing. I I just think it's so awesome how conversations around hair and how we've gone from in-house celebrations to not just being marketable, but being able to be on a
Hmm.
national platform, as one of our
Yeah.
commenters said, not just about the trauma, right? This is
Not
about the
just
joy.
about the trauma.
Mm,
Exactly. Because there's so much trauma, in terms of getting our hair right or being told we didn't have the right type of hair or, being discriminated against or even whether it is black women. We see this on reality TV all the time where hair is used, it's weaponized. There's that quick snatch, people wanting to do that. And it's very specific to our culture because we know that it's a pressure point. We know it's a soft underbelly of how we feel about ourselves. And so that's sometimes I think why it becomes a thing in reality TV. Not to knock reality TV, but so it's important to have something that kind of shows, like you said, the joy of hair and
mm,
even some of the trauma in a way that we're getting past the trauma.
that's what's up. So, in the very beginning, you said you were looking for something that you wanted to watch to create.
Yes,
What else?
exactly. Something I wanted to watch, the kind of show I wanted to watch. And I'm like, well, we think about the kind of thing we would want to do. Like even Toni Morrison said, if there's a book you want to read and it hasn't been written yet, write that book. And that is the ultimate advice from a sage, a goddess, and an elder in our community. And if I could even reach that in any way in my own little way, that's what I would want to do. So
Love.
this show is my homage to that advice.
Do you see yourself creating anything else around in the beauty realm, or what else do you have plans for it? You're a filmmaker at the end of the day. You're,
I'm a
a
filmmaker.
television.
I want to do more. I want to just do more work in general. Like I have some other beauty related content ideas, and I would love to do something that is specific to younger, just very specific to like Gen Z or maybe Gen Z and millennials. And I would
Mhm.
like to speak to younger women as they're coming up, or even maybe teens because teenagers have their own needs as well. And I would love to do something like that on television. I would also like to do some narrative film projects, just a variety of projects. So, to me, storytelling is storytelling. If I have to tell a story in one form or another, I'm going to find a way to tell story. I'll do a web series. What you got? I'll do a play. What do you need? I've been hired to do plays. I've been hired to do studio production. I'm just pretty much a versatile person. So however I need to tell a story, I will tell a story.
Yes, yes, I love that. Folks tuning in, if you have any questions, any more questions, please drop them in the comments. I'm loving what's coming through right now. Um, I think two things that you said really stick out, just in terms of just people in business, and as we talk about the Black beauty experience, is telling our own stories. And if we see
Yeah.
something that's not there that we want, to create it ourselves.
Yeah.
That's empowering for us to be able to have those voices. And so, where are
Yeah.
you based, Olu? Are you in Brooklyn, LA? What part of the world are you?
I consider myself bi-coastal. I live in Los Angeles, but I do try to. I feel like I'm also like spiritually still based in New York.
Right?
So yeah, I've had New York, city guest. Our first guest, Janelle Grimman, is a New Yorker who was in LA, and I also want to make a note that I definitely feel the show is open to Black women from the diaspora. I want to
Mm,
embrace different voices, ADOS, African American descendants of slave in America, as well as West Indian, as well as African, Black people in Europe, Canada. I want to embrace those voices and I want to include those voices. So if you're watching this right now, you're from another country or you're based somewhere, feel free to reach out to us because we can always do we can always do remote interview. So I definitely want to include Black women's voices from the diaspora.
Love it. How did you select folks for the first round, and how will you continue to select folks for the interviews and to be part of the show?
It's really, we're open. We want to hear different voices. The celebrity aspect of it does lend a certain amount of visibility, but there are so many voices, and I think the hair care community's voice is really important to us, because interviewing Kim Kimball was really important. But we want to, we're just open, and a lot of it is just wanting to hear your voice and being open. So there's no like checklist that I can think of. It's just really wanting to hear different voices. And we've been pretty much like that from the beginning, from the pilot. So
okay. So how do we get in contact with you? What does that look like? Should we stalk you on Instagram? Should we?
Yeah, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Feel free to direct message us. Also, our website is letstalkhair.tv. There's a contact us page there. So yeah.
Okay. No, this is awesome. So folks, if you want to follow, letstalkhair.tv is the website, but it's also letstalkhair.tv for their Instagram as well. So make sure you put the dot in there. Yes.
In the Instagram, it's the dot. Everything else, no dot.
So no, that works out really well for folks who are interested in sharing their story. And I love this piece that you said about the diaspora and bringing those conversations. Yeah. My dad watched the show and he was like, how come you didn't say you were West African? Because I'm Liberian, right? And I'm just like, it wasn't about me, Dad. It wasn't. But being able to see us in all of our Blackness at the end of the day is super empowering.
It's super empowering.
Yeah, it's super empowering. Is there anything that you want to talk about or share with our audience that you didn't get to talk about in the show?
I think that when it comes to the diaspora, there's so many themes. You have the Black girls in South Africa protesting their right to wear their natural hair to school, just like you had it happen. I believe this is in Barbados. So, and these things are happening around the same time. So that's why it's important to, and then of course this is happening all the time across the United States. So I think it's a unifier. I think it's something that it's a kind of light topic. Some folks who didn't understand it at first were like, hair, really? But then, and usually this is outside of the community of Black women who are like, But we had some Black men who were like, yeah, my wife, my sister, we know how important this is. Or we have some allies and partners who are not African American who understand the importance of the topic. So, I think there'll be people who will be tuning in from outside of our community and outside of our gender who are going to want to watch the show besides Black women. So I think, I'm hoping that they'll enjoy the show too.
That's awesome. Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to share with our audience about, like, maybe there's one thing that you still like, I want to touch on this. We talked about the diaspora. Is there something that you're like, I wish I'd had more of this on the show?
I want to talk to some men about hair. I want to hear the guys, what you guys have to really say, and don't just make it about preferences. I want to hear about your own hair, because I think texturism and other things do affect men. I also love the fact that hair is a place for men to share, just their friendship and camaraderie in the neighborhood, in the barbershop environment. And so I definitely welcome male voices to the show as well.
Yes. Okay, so folks, expect to talk about man weaves on one of these episodes.
I want to hear about 360 waves, how you make a perfect man weave, balding, where choosing a baldy, just the whole, I want to hear about all of it, and so we want to hear from the guys too.
Maybe some more Black-owned products as well. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Yes,
Black-owned products. Black-owned products are a big thing. We talk about Black-owned products on the show. We talk about even when products that start out Black-owned are sold by larger multinational companies, and we just talk about different things, you know. So we want to talk about entrepreneurship, business, all that stuff, you know.
Okay. Well, awesome. Awesome. This is great, Olu. Thank you so much. Tell us
Yes,
again where we find this, how we can get connected with it. And I'm going to play the
yes.
trailer at the very end for folks who are still on.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So tell us how we find
Yes.
the show.
Okay, so you want to check out our website, letstalkhair.tv
Mhm.
is the website. It has a list of the TV stations we are currently at, and then that station list is going to be growing. And also we are on the Fox Soul platform, which we're super excited about as well. Another big shout out to Fox Soul for making that platform. There's so many great people on that platform, and they've actually introed our show from their show. You know, they're just a very nice set of folks over at Fox Soul. So so Fox Soul, the TV stations, and our website and our social media. And if you guys feel like there's another platform, like, oh, we should be on this app, why aren't you on that app? Let us know, because then we can start making content for that other app.
Awesome.
We're not on TikTok yet. And I'm like,
Not on
should
TikTok?
we be? So let me know. Let me know.
No, I mean, I think this is great. I think you're a great start. We're just going to keep looking for more from you, and we'll be able to see more about more of the show and more episodes. And I think that's amazing. So again,
Yeah, hopefully we'll get you back on it and get more of your commentary, your expertise. Because you are like I said, you were the dream pundit I wanted to have on the show. So I was really excited to have you on it. Yes. So
yeah, that was a blessing.
And you with grades, and with La Charette, that was just a great episode, because there's so much information about braids, in terms of the care of braids, the salons, the licensing. Is it necessary? Is it not? These are questions that really need, these are the kind of questions that are kind of always floating around in your head, like, why doesn't the salon have barbicide? Or is it okay that should we require them to have, hundreds of hours of training that doesn't necessarily reflect our hair texture? And we need to have some debate about those issues. There are more people who are advocates in both directions on that topic. So I definitely want to have more episodes that deal with this very specific issue of braids and licensing.
That's awesome. No, that's a hot button topic all day. So yeah. I love it. I want to say thank you again to Olu Gittens, filmmaker, creator of Let's Talk Hair, for blessing us with her presence on the Business of Black Beauty. Yay!
It's an honor. I'm so grateful to be here.
Thank you so much. Again, I'm Stephanetta Isis Harmon. We're going to close out. We're going to close out a little bit differently today, because I know some folks tuned in late, and I just want to drop this not commercial. Yeah, the 30-second commercial, or not a trailer of the show for you to catch it. And then make sure you tune in. It's on foxsoul.tv, letstalkhair.tv. And, drop her some questions if there's something that you want to see on her next episodes as she gears up for her next round of productions. So again, Olu Gittens, thank you so much. And let's see about this commercial right here.
Introducing the exciting new talk and lifestyle television show,
Let's Talk Hair,
dedicated to hair from an African American perspective. Relaxed hair, natural hair, products and techniques, the latest trends, beauty, celebrities, personal journeys, and enterprise. Let's Talk Hair. Check your local listings for broadcast times and follow us on social media.